Yeah, man.
Oh my god, you're fucking hilarious.
I
Yo,
should have got that on camera.
that would have been hilarious. That would
I'll
have
do it
been
again. I'll do it again.
what? What are you grasping at straws? Sorry.
It is National Straw Hat Day, actually.
Shout out to
Shout out to Luffy.
yeah.
And shout out to us, guys. Welcome to another episode of Dots and Lines, where the Wednesday Warriors meet the Hard
Hard
A.
A's. There
God,
we
we're going,
go. There we go.
we're going
You
hard days.
completed the slogan, man.
Okay.
We're here to talk about some of the most important and fun things going on in comic books, anime, and manga with each other. So, introduce yourselves.
It's your boy, me, Connell, your friendly neighborhood Renaissance man. I do all the things with all the stuff.
All right. I am Mr. Sniffles Digger Des. His name is Desmond.
I love the jingle. Shout out to bringing it back. That's
Yeah.
I mean, we got to bring that back every episode now. That's your thing.
Shout out to E, man.
Shout out to E, which they have no idea who the fuck we're talking about. And I am Grayson Red, a big old nerd. I'm here to talk about Battle Beast.
Battle Beast.
Now, you guys, I talked to these guys before we started rolling. For those of you guys who weren't initiated, Battle Beast is a character from the Invincible universe. Robert Kirkman had a really big liking to the character, and when they asked him, "Hey, what's going to be different about the show?" He said, I really took a liking to Battle Beast. I'll write a little bit more of him. If you notice in the fights in the show, they show a little bit more of Battle Beast. They let him have a little bit more run time. And I guess he's scratching that itch with this issue number 1. Now, if you've never read this book, if you've never dived into the Invincible past the seasons that have been shown, this won't spoil anything for you. It's right after like the first season where he first makes his appearance and goes back in the portal. It shows a story of then. Long story short, he's trying to find somebody that can kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big and small of it. Very great art, really cool action, and the story is more than fair.
Yeah.
It also makes him a little bit more likable because I didn't know that he was like just a crazy rage monster that brought peace to his planet, and he left his planet because he didn't want to fuck it up. That's kind of cool.
It does give an added layer of context with him being just like, nah, fuck it, I want smoke. Like, as I was reading the book, I was like, oh, he's a glorified YN. Like, I get it. He's just out here for smoke by any means necessary. It doesn't matter who it is. At one point, he threatened a computer. It'd be like somebody threatening Siri. Like, I get it. But especially, like, when you add the context in of him being like, all right, I have to leave my planet because I will destroy it because I have this unquenchable bottomless pit of rage in my body. He's like Broly. If Broly was like half lion.
If Broly was half lion and self-aware.
He's conscious and a lion.
Yeah. Shout out to Super Broly because he's kind of like that.
Aware and Super Broly is aware.
Yeah, but if Super Broly was a YN at the same time, if he was he was a crash out because Battle Beast is a crash out.
Yeah, he's really okay with murdering the shit out of people. Like he relishes it. He wants someone to be good enough to hurt him back, and he's like, I can't find one op that can smoke me.
I can't find it. Y'all pussy.
Now
out there though.
We'll get there.
On the business side of things, Battle Beast has a blind bag. For all of my TCG fans, this is a booster pack. Okay, this is a booster pack because you can get a really rare cover in here of a Marvel team up because there's one period of time where Robert Kirkman worked with Marvel and he was doing Invincible at the same time. So you can get the Spider-Man cover in here. Or you can get the 1 in 1,000 variant that's going for like hundreds of dollars or whatever. I got issue 2, the ultra rare variant, the advanced edition.
Got the holographic boy.
Yeah, it is. That is. I said ultra rare because I come from Yu-Gi-Oh! Can't help it. So on camera, I'm going to open this bitch up right now.
Ooh. We got our first unboxing on Dots and Lines.
Take the panties off that comic, Justin.
That should be the 1 in 1,000, John.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane.
I'm trying to take it off as gently as possible. All right.
So now you're gentle, huh, Justin? not the gym.
Is that the John?
No way.
What is that?
It's not the John. That is the John.
Nah,
No
don't
way.
look like it.
Nah, this is cover B. Nah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is dope. I think this cover is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the first one you put up, the ultra rare one, it's like $80.
Yeah.
It is $80. I will look up throughout the show very discreetly how much this cover B is worth. Probably nothing crazy, right?
Well, that should be
Cover
like
B, yeah, it's like 20, probably like 20.
Yeah,
it's probably like 20.
It's a super rare.
No, honestly,
to more of our Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, super rare, you know.
Yeah, I like what they're doing with the Invincible universe because they was like, fuck it, like the show is still going, but guess what? I'm gonna give you this other thing, and we are probably gonna get this comic animated, which is probably why we're dropped. There's no way that they don't after the end of the Invincible series because the series prints money right now.
Yeah.
When the Conquest thing happened, that's all people were talking about was the fact that Conquest was out here whispering in Mark's ear sweet nothings about violating him.
But that was not in the comics.
Not at all.
Not at all. They added that. They knew what they were doing.
The air bubble, the air bubble heart in space.
Crazy. Yeah, that was wild.
By the way, that book's worth like $4. So all good, all love. But I really want to make mention of that because this whole blind bag thing, some people say it's a gimmick. Some people say it's like kind of corny. I love it, bro. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it made me buy an extra 2 issues, one for myself and then one that was open here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's fun.
It's fun, bro. Just have some fun. What's wrong with having fun? Comics are about fun. And what's more fun than a crazy cat guy with special variant covers killing the shit out of things?
Shout out to the Crash Out.
Like you could be one of the first to read issue 2. Like that's already a win in itself.
And you know what? I was reading issue 2. That is a win. That's a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading issue 2, and these damn kids, damn kids. Before the camera started rolling, shout out to them. Before the camera started rolling, my daughter got out of bed, and we had to. Phil heard it.
What the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's why Michael Jordan and John Cena got them famous quotes, you know.
Crazy, wow.
Fuck them kids.
Diabolical. I do have a question though. Do you think we'll get more stuff from the Invincible universe? Like, you think we'll get like a Nolan pre-Earth, or like World of the Viltrumites just wrecking shit like the Saiyans, or even like Alan the Aliens people, or stuff like that?
I'm pretty sure we will, because the show's taking off even more. I know deep down that Robert Kirkman really wants this to be live action eventually, and I'm sure he just wants more proof of concept. He wants more people to be like, he wants it to be super undeniable. That's what I know he wants.
The only problem with live action is we already got The Boys. The Boys already exist.
But this is different than The Boys because The Boys like makes fun of Okay, quick for anyone who doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Garth Ennis made The Boys. We know that. You feel so. I'm talking to you, Des.
Yeah.
Garth Ennis made The Boys.
You are.
Garth Ennis notoriously hates superheroes, and I'm not exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
He does not like superheroes. So this not the whole thing, but The Boys was basically a parody as well as a mocking of superheroes, how like shit they are and how this is a joke. Why do you guys like them? And people who like superheroes this much are usually not great people.
It was like Watchmen, but less philosophy.
For sure. It was Watchmen, but like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Invincible isn't like that. Of course, they mock some tropes, but it's generally like a love letter to comic books.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be injected with a lot more enjoyability. As much as Mark does suffer, he does win in the end, usually.
For sure.
Okay.
And like the arcs don't just shit on the main characters as far as like a character assassination. They'll put them in tough positions. Some characters may make developments we don't like, but as a whole, they become well-rounded characters.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it would be different. I think it'd be a little different.
Yeah, I just would hate for people to be like, oh, this is bloody. Just like, because the only really bloody superhero thing we have is The Boys and Blade.
Yeah, as far as hit the mainstream, you're right. You're totally right. But this comes from the same. Robert Kirkman had a big hand in the first couple seasons of Walking Dead, which were immaculate. If he gathers a similar team to do Invincible, I would trust it.
That's facts. That's facts. Yeah, I stand behind that.
Yeah. So let's talk about another really cool, fun aura farming book, Absolute Batman, issue number 8.
Motherfucker.
Be still my beating heart. I've been yapping for a little bit. Does anyone want to cut in, or can I take off?
Nah, take off.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this mini arc, Scott Snyder and I forget the artist's name at the moment, but I'll find out. It's a really cool arc that deals with Bruce and how he has been dealing with his trauma. And it's called Absolute Zero for a reason. Because one, clearly, Absolute Zero,
cold ass nigga, Mr.
Freeze, you know, but also they go into depth about why Bruce is Batman here, and Waylon Jones, who is Killer Croc in the mainline, is one of Bruce's closest friends, and him and a whole bunch of the other rogues in our universe. This universe is his friends. His friends talk to him in Crime Alley because Matches Malone, which you guys know as Bruce's alternate ego in the underbelly of Gotham.
I did not know that. He just looked like a junkie when I was reading it.
That's fair, for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what he betrays himself as in the mainline universe.
Mm-hmm.
So in this universe, like, he's a real person, like with a real personality. And I'm sorry, guys. This MacBook just gave me some messages.
You got to sync.
My bad. I do. I'm a terrible human. But yeah, so long story short, he's a real person. And unfortunately, he dies because of Mr. Freeze.
Brutally.
Very brutally. Now, he dies because Mr. Freeze kills him. But he always had a death wish, apparently, because, spoiler alert, the reason why Bruce's dad was outside of the door when everyone was locked in during the mass shooting is because he went back to go save Matches Malone as a kid.
Damn.
He was the last person to get in, and of course, he ran out to save his life. By the time he went and put him back in the closet, it was too late. Shooter caught him and got him. So Matches Malone has been portrayed as someone who's had like a death wish his entire time. Word gets back to the group from Crime Alley that Bruce was on that same type of shit as Batman. He jumped from one surface to the boat, and he was willing to die to take on Black Mask. And Waylon Jones confronts him and says, yo, he just let his grief eat him up until he was eventually nothing. Zero. Are you there, Bruce? Have you hit zero with us? And then, long story short, he says no. And you see Batman, you see Bruce Wayne like struggle with like suicidal thoughts and ideations by fighting for his life literally against Victor Freeze. Yeah, and fighting internally to make sure that he wants to live despite the fact he feels so much guilt. And my God, it was perfectly placed, perfectly paced, and I think this is a perfectly placed arc in the story. It's a nice break from Dragotta, who's the main artist, to have Marcus Martin in here because he makes things a little bit creepier, makes things a little bit more unsettling. And considering we have like basically an eldritch horror of a freeze monster stalking Bruce, it made it more tense for me. I can't talk enough about this book. I think it's firing on all cylinders once again. And, you know, Scott Snyder, he's a visionary, bro. The fucking GOAT.
Yeah. I would say, like, oh, sorry, Desmond.
Nah, I was just gonna ask, what's this I hear about Bane though?
Oh, that's coming. That's
the end of this issue. Waylon Jones, Killer Croc, he gets kidnapped, and it looks like he's about to get experimented on, and that's the beginning of the Bane arc.
I like the thing that the Absolute Universe is doing with not only the subversion of like the main universe where like all right, all his rogues are his friends now, but even the whole thing with Mr. Freeze being like his cause in the comic books is noble. Yes, he's going about it in a messed up way, but all he wants is his bitch back. That's it. That's all he's trying to do. That's his whole purpose, his whole driving force. But in this one, he's like,
mama's boy.
yeah, I like crime, and I do terrible things to people to reach these ends. But Victor Freeze was never on that.
No.
Yeah, so it's just like, and on top of that, like now he's like a Lovecraftian creature, which is even like the still in the image. Like, can you imagine seeing that shit at the corner of your bed at 3 o'clock in the morning? Like,
Oh, sure.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck do you do with that?
Get me out of here.
And even like the soft play on words with the absolute zero of the Mr. Freeze thing, and then his friend asking him, "Are you at zero yet?"
I love it, man. You
it's
know,
just is poetry peak.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. And Scott Snyder did a interview with Comic Pop. Shout out to Comic Pop, love him. Been watching him for years. Where he just was giving it up. He'd be going, listen, for any of you guys who want to know about the books ahead of time, he'd just be giving it up. He'd be letting you know what's about to go down. I know that DC has been like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's how you know it's good. He's like, I'll tell you now. Guess what? It's still gonna hit.
Yeah, and like a fucking coke addicted zombie, I surely still buy and read after he tells me what's gonna happen. Apparently he's going to be shepherding the all new stuff, the literal all in stuff for at least another year and a half. At least he signed a new contract, and this is why it's so cool to me. He doesn't need to do it. He's very well off already. He's put in the work for Batman New 52, which is one of the greatest runs literally of all time. I know he got paid buku for Absolute Batman. It had mad pre-orders. He's doing work. He has a book called Witches that's becoming a Netflix show. He is good. He doesn't need to do this. If anything, it's probably
game.
Yeah, but he's so locked in. He's doing it for the love of the game. He's giving it up to us for the love of the game. And he's saying he's about to put this same energy into the main line. Phil, I know you had some words to say about that. I want to get your opinion about that real quick.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because it's so good on its own, and they did this with the Batman Who Laughs. It's exactly what they did. They were like, oh, this standalone thing that's really fucking cool over here, let's take it and flood the streets with it. But when you flood the streets with bad dope, everybody gets sick.
Ooh. Bomba.
And that's where we're at right now, where I don't want that to happen because the concept is so cool. The series is so cool. And I get it's not a one-off, it's just an alternate universe. And eventually they have to fold it in. But I don't think the other books should be given this type of energy because they don't need it.
That's fair. That's fair. I do feel though that some of the all-in books down the main line do need it. I think Superman's doing really good. I don't know the sales, but to boost that up a little bit more before the movie would help, right?
I get. Wait, can I recant something real quick? I'm not saying that they don't need it. Let me rephrase that. What I mean is like they need this, but something else.
Okay.
Like if this is like adding lemon to a dish, they don't need lemon. They need fucking saffron from shit. Yeah, they need pepper or salt or something. It does need a new spice to it, but it doesn't need lemon. Lemon is good over here. Don't put lemon on steak.
Okay. I hear you. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, Desmond, we've been yapping for a while. I want you to tell us about some of the anime you're watching, and I want you to talk about this new book, OTR of the Flame.
Well, we're gonna save that for sure. But the anime that I'm watching, we could definitely kick it off with some lighthearted stuff. The Gundam girly up there. The Pomeranians, man, they might be disbanded now because she is over here about to sell the red Gundam. And they're trying to assassinate the leader of the Xeon, I believe. So it's getting into his more politics of, that's what you usually would get with Gundam, other than mechs. And we got Machu getting jealous of Nan, about the Kira and fighting in the battle. Yeah. So, just a little bit more teenage fever there. But this episode was pretty much just a setup, nothing too crazy. Phil, did you, Justin, you seen this one?
Did I see Gquuuuux? Let me tell you something. I actually, I'm such a fucking dork. The pre-sale, yeah, it is a fire picture. The pre-sale for Machu's hat that she wears for the battles went on sale for Premium Bandai. Ooh. Of course I bought it.
Of course you bought it.
Of course I bought it. I was like, why are they selling this for $30? And I bought it for $40 with shipping.
I mean,
that's fair.
You gotta sport the hat, bro. I feel you.
I'm gonna wear it on this podcast. It's purple.
Oh, for sure. I haven't had much time to catch up on Gundam because I was catching up on Fire Force.
Well, that's a good segue because that was peak and just Shinra versus Nova level stage 5 Burns. Like, they really got into the nitty-gritty with this.
Yeah.
When he kicked him and when he kicked him and he was like, oh shit, he actually like put him on his back, and then he's like, nah. And he went fucking Nova 5, I think it was.
Yeah. When he kind of got the lion's mane with the flames.
Oh, I stood up. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, absolute peak.
Yeah, it's just great because like Burns, flop, being a priest from the squad 1, kind of getting manipulated by Hamea, not really, but she is a part of what happened to him at the end of this episode. Spoiler alerts, you might think something happened, but it didn't go as how you think it happened. So Hamea has been dwelling in the I believe they call it collective unconscious, and that has a lot to do with doppelgangers. So that's why you see him getting, again, the spoilers at the end of the episode, him getting Kaguya, like he was Madara or some shit. The Black Zetsu came up like, hey, thank you for doing your job, but we don't need you anymore. So
yeah,
it's just perfect. And even like the whole Adola burst part of it, like it's either the Unsullied Flame they call it, or the scientists they call it the flame of I believe it's I forgot what it's called, but like
I forget what it is too. I'm not gonna blame
you. Yeah. In Christian, like that's what they call like damned hellfire. Like it could either be meant to destroy or create, which is essentially what fire is to begin with.
Yeah.
And then that also leads into again, spoilers, but everyone is asking what the fuck happened.
What the hell?
And you could read that on K Manga, the Hard A K Manga. For free. You can go ahead. I believe we left off on 196 where Moonlight Mask, again, spoiler, pops up at the end to save them. And yeah, so there's a new pillar alert. I see everyone using that now. I feel like I coined that, But yeah, there's a new pillar going around, and again, just doppelgangers and stuff has a lot to do with unconscious. They didn't really dwell on it yet, but like how you're seen in the regular world is how your doppelganger will be. So Shinra being looked at as a devil, his doppelganger is like basically Lucifer. So like, Hamea is dwelling in that and has like that power with her mind. So she plays a big part into it. I don't want to get into Iris too much because we're going to get that in an episode or two. But
I don't want to spoil things for people.
Yeah,
we're already in spoiler talk.
She's going to tie 1 and 2 together for sure. It's great. Like Fire Force has been killing it this whole entire season. Like I said, it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts. You did say that.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see, because from what I'm understanding, and maybe I'm not understanding the lore well enough, if you get too much of the Adola burst, you start getting a little bit too connected to hell. Am I reading that wrong?
No, that's exactly right. So
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I didn't read the end of Fire Force, but like if I'm imagining Shinra, because his Adola links keep going off, I'm imagining as the enemies get stronger, that his Adola burst has to continuously get used. You know what I'm saying?
it's like a fight for like who is the main one controlling things. Like you could be, the more you tap into it, the more your doppelganger has like, oh, there's another part of me that's not how I am right now. Let me fight for control. So, you know, yeah, they don't really dwell on it too much yet, but we have seen about 4 or 5 doppelgangers so far. You know, Benny's lieutenant, he fought one of his doppelgangers. We just saw one with Burns. There's going to be plenty more. They kind of, you know, hinted at the first pillars. Again, do with that information you will, but there's a reason why she looks like some other person.
So you're saying this is all coming like, never mind. I'm not going to make that joke. I am not making that joke. Nope. I'm not even going to do it. I'll tell you guys after the show. I'm not even going to do it.
Okay. Like
one last anime for the week.
Shout out to Cassie.
Boy, shout out to even more. This is like a spoiler ass week because we got who exactly y'all thought he would be with the blood curdle quirk. Like who else could it be?
Who else?
But Stain versus Knuckle Duster. This man punched him so hard and gave him an origin story. He has no powers. He has no quirk. None of that. Drew a line on the drew a metaphorical and literal line and say, you know what? You come past this line, I'm gonna beat your ass. Now you can retreat and I'm gonna leave you alone. And you respect me, you know who I am. That's what's up. You
let me say
beat your ass.
Let me say something though. When Koichi asked him, but he didn't pass the line. He was like, yeah, but I didn't say I wasn't going to.
It didn't apply to me.
I don't mind that. And on top of that, he was clearly about to try to swing at you with a fucking blade. Yeah, punch him in his face.
That's a bar.
Knuckle Duster is so much Batman that like I feel as though he might Batman more than Batman.
He's Batman unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great how they write him. He's really the most enduring character of the series so far. Like Koichi's nice and I like his heart. Like he's like, what you mean you about to take out the dude on the trigger? Like you don't have to kill this man. Like I know he tried to rape Pops up in the first episode, but give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think Koichi is the heart of the show. He's the Deku. He's the heart. Yeah. Knuckle Duster, that's the meat.
Here's the meat. And the thing is, like, yeah, he's a little bit off his rocker, but like everything he's doing, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't make any crazy rash decisions. Like he'll come up, I gotta beat this dude's ass real quick, leave. Yo, I'll beat your ass if you come over here, so just leave. Yeah. Yo, don't make me beat your ass. That's all he's about.
And also, if you lived in a world of superpowered motherfuckers and you don't have powers, you got to be quick to make a decision, because if not, that could be your head.
But even him giving Standall at the times, like, you know, reason for his resolve, you know, that comes off his own ethics. Like he's like, and this is just off him seeing him for the first 2 seconds. He's like, I already know the type of nigga you is. Like you wearing that mask, and I know that when you're not wearing this mask, you're not who you say you are. So like
that was real. Yeah, I like that so much.
Like punched this man's face in through the mask and gave him a reason to live, you know, all the way through. Like not just part-time with it. Like yeah.
I loved it, bro. And I always assumed that Stain just didn't have a nose because he just how his quirk formed his face. Bro, my man was so distraught over the fact that he thought he was fake.
Yeah,
he punched him. He cut that shit off, bro. he punched him into deeper insanity, which is kind of not good. But He deserved it.
Ida's brother. Not good for Ida's brother and how it ties into the main series there. But
I see that Ida's going to be coming next episode too. Well, Ida's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Fun fact: favorite character.
Really?
I think Desmond already knows that
for sure. And you're definitely Ida coded as well. Like I've already expressed that. Just the proper. That's you.
Oh, that's funny.
Speaking of proper, let's talk about the newest shonen, chapter 1, Ultra of the Flame. This shit. I usually read like ongoing stuff. I'm not usually like a chapter 1 with shonen. With comics, I'm getting into it now because of the pod. But this shit is beautiful. One, they should have never canceled Red Hood. Shout out to the mangaku who makes this, because that shit was beautiful, and that shit shouldn't have gotten canceled either, especially in 10 chapters. But this shit looks promising. It's basically like a Game of Thrones type of deal. You got, the undead army, literally, an ice kingdom, a forest kingdom. So our main character here, Oter, he is from the forest kingdom, but the ice kingdom is like the fire nation. They're like, we're just going to spread ours everywhere. It's going to be ice everywhere, and if that comes with death, then that's on y'all. We don't really care. So it's winter where they're at, even though it's summertime, like geographically, or if that's even how you would say that. But it's good. Like I like it because it starts off with him doing favors for the town, even in the snow and everything. He's like a Tundra, like when he was getting the coal for the village and everything before all the demon stuff happened. And his dad is a hero. That's where the Vinland Saga type of Viking stuff comes in. They believe in Valhalla. But one thing they try to do is not have children warriors. So he is a cook, and his they're like, everyone who is on the battlefield is still essentially, a warrior. You can still go to Valhalla because you're doing your battlefield. You could be a cook, as long as you're looking out for the, lives of others through your meals and everything. Keeping that flame alive is like the theme that they use there, is, his battle. But he has such a good heart. Like the spirit, again, a little bit of spoilers there, it chooses him because it said that he had like the warmest heart in the whole battlefield. Like he would read stories to his sister about sagas and like warriors, but he never thought he could do such a thing. It's really good. And here is the Ice Kingdom and what they look like. Again, very, very Game of Thrones, like literally
a lot of aura farming right here.
Yeah.
Night army. Like it's worth the read. Worth the read. Shonen Jump app. Again, that's what, like $3 a month. You get to read My Hero Vigilantes, all that. So go ahead and check this out.
That shit hard.
I have a question about how you feel about the longevity of this series. Like you said before, the mangaka who did this also did that Red Hood book, which got cut short. It was really promising. Do you feel like, this is very early, so I don't expect an exact answer, do you feel like this was a stronger first issue than the Red Hood issue that we got?
I feel like it's a stronger first issue, but that doesn't really tell if it will keep going or not, because with Red Hood, apparently America fucked it real hard, but not Japan.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure how this would hit on their end of it, but he's taken all of the good stuff that we like, Game of Thrones, Vinland Saga. You got a little bit of I mentioned Demon Slayer with like the Tundra lightheartedness of it in his character. The Avatar part of like the Fire Nation being like the Ice Kingdom. Like it's got a whole bunch of beats in there that as a first time reader, you could, like any of your favorites, you can connect it to this.
Right.
But it really just depends on how Japan feels, because I feel like America is already going to fuck it.
I will say though, as far as first issues go, I've heard more about this in terms of manga. Yeah, I didn't even know what Red Hood was.
Right.
But
was that like 4 years ago?
Yeah, I had no idea what Red Hood was, so you mentioned it just now. But I've heard this manga get brought up at least 4 or 5 times.
It just came out. It's Sunday. It just came out, and it's already like talked about.
One of my coworkers brought it up and was like, "Yo, are you reading this right now?" He's a casual reader.
Yeah, normie.
Exactly. Very, very casual. He was like, "Yo, are you reading this right now? This is super hype." The only time I've heard something like this is when Kagurabashi came out. And I think that's how you say the name.
That was a pretty hype first issue.
Yeah. But this is
because of a meme. But no, this is very less of a meme and more like actual peak. In my opinion.
Yeah. I give it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kagurabashi is peak. I just picked it back up again, but that's a different conversation.
When y'all get to the chapter of his sensei, I called her the big rack Viking bitch. Like she she installs in him like that part where I was saying where anyone on the battlefield is a warrior. So he sees people get murdered by the Ice Kingdom, and like he's keeping that flame warm. That's another part of it. It has a little bit of Demon Slayer in it because he's literally breathing life into the flame, like it became a spirit. Yeah, because
I was gonna say I like that. Like I like my shonen to have flashy like actual power systems. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Energy, fire, lightning, whatever. Me personally, I like seeing shit like that for shonens.
I agree. Yeah,
it's promising.
I like simple. As much as I like complex power systems, like a Hunter x Hunter or a JJK, I like it simple where it's like, yo, I do the thing and shit happens, and that's it. That's all I need. I don't need all the other shit.
Yeah, man. I'm with you, and I'm excited, man. I'm gonna read this first issue for sure.
Yeah,
this might be the first one I picked up from issue 1 and might go all the way into however many volumes it has. So I always start pretty late, and that's just with shonen. You kind of have to do that just because you don't know. You hate to get invested in something that you don't know if it's going to last or not.
Sometimes.
And there's been plenty of examples of that.
Sometimes. Have you read Record of Ragnarok?
It's funny.
That's like the battle thing with like the Buddha and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta say, I definitely give a lot of mangas a chance. But I know that Shonen Jump is very prone to just being like, it's not doing absolutely wonderful in Japan, so we're never gonna give it a shot.
Which is dumb.
It's not really you'd think they'd be more globalized than that because they literally are. But whatever, it's their business. They can do what they want. Yeah. I will say though, I have hope for this. I do. I really do. Just from the reaction from so many other people, Like I said, Jasmine, you're not the first, second, or third person to tell me about this.
The fact that Phil got like a normie, like, are you reading this is crazy. Like at the Apple, oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Some first issue shit.
Yeah. But let's get to some movie news. Dun, 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 dun.
Woo, Riri is back.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about how there was no trailer for this.
Literally 2 days ago.
We were talking about that in the group chat, and they dropped the trailer. I'm gonna go off on. I want to hear y'all opinions. I think the trailer is fine. I think the sequence where she gets in the suit is cool looking. I will say the plot looks a little hokey, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong because I have her first appearance. I have Iron Man issue number 9, Invincible Iron Man issue number 9, where she's drawn by Deodato Jr. and written by Bendis. And I think Riri Williams is actually like a decent character. She gets a lot of hate. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, for sure. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think she's a fun character. Pretty much everything I read her in, she is an enjoyable character to see. And I want to see a cool mech do wild shit. Look at that. I'm a Gundam boy. How do you guys feel about the trailer?
I think Quincy would be proud the first couple seconds. I want to play a game. Like, bro, what? Why are we starting off with the elevator jigsaw like puzzle piece? Like, she was like, I'm not trying to prove myself to you, and I don't care.
Yeah.
It's. I feel as though we still shouldn't have got this right after Wakanda Forever, and I understand why we didn't, but like, that doesn't mean that y'all as Marvel like should like just kind of give up on it or just say like whatever, like we're still gonna do this, and here it is. Like, we're a month and a month and a half away from it like releasing. We're just now getting the first trailer. Like,
yeah,
so it is kind of annoying, but as a character, about 7 or 8 episodes of Riri, like I'm okay with that. I didn't know who the Hood was.
And you don't need to. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I read so many comics. I have read more than thousands of comics. He almost never comes up, and when he does, he's like a joke character essentially. Phil, am I tripping?
Nah, not at all. He is very C-list.
And Marvel's done this for years, where they make a C-list character like enjoyable and charismatic. So maybe they're gonna work some magic, because I actually like this actor. I forget his name, but you don't feel bad for not knowing this dude. You're good.
How you feel about it? About the trailer?
Honestly, it was fun and enjoyable. However, my biggest qualm is we have this overarching story, and not to say it's not going to connect, and the smaller stories do add to the bigger picture of what's going on. And granted, it is just a trailer, but and Justin, you can correct me on this. Is the Hood Ironheart villain?
I have not encountered that. I read the miniseries by Eve Ewing. Never got to finish it, but I read her in many other books, and I've never seen the Hood pop up. So if that's the case, I have never seen him.
Yeah, I guess like my whole thing with Ironheart, it's supposed to be a coming of age and not necessarily passing the torch, but kind of passing the torch a little bit, because Iron Man has never had like a little homie. Essentially, you got Cap, you got Bucky, you got Falcon, you got the other Falcon, the Spanish dude, Torres,
yeah.
and you have like Spider-Man, you have Miles, and you got Thor, you got Valkyrie. You have all these people that have these subsequent like little homies, and then Ironheart is supposed to. It was like Rhodey, but Rhodey is his own thing now. And Ironheart's supposed to be like this coming of age young person who is like trying to figure out the world around them, but they have this genius level intellect. And to kind of push it to the back burner, it's just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's going to become like what Moon Knight became. It's going to become with like Agatha. It's going to become with like the Scarlet Witch show. They're just going to be pushed to the back burner once the overarching story happens. And I'm still excited to see this show because it definitely does. It's a story that needs to be told. I just don't want it to get pushed to the back burner like everything else does when it comes to the shows that are just kind of like one-offs and throwaways.
Let me tell you, bro, I couldn't agree more. And I'm hoping that you're wrong, but in my heart, I feel like you're right. Unless this show is wildly successful, they're just going to go along business as usual with the movies. It looks like, from everything I'm seeing about leaks and stuff, they are full steam ahead into Doom. So what they can squeeze in is just what they're going to happen to squeeze in. They have no right now. Their plan is not to do with the movies. From what I understand, Vision Quest, that Vision show, is going to be the last like TV show that's going to relate to the movies at all. Everything's going to be special one-offs essentially.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing right now is just only going to loosely tie into the stuff that's going to be in the movies. And it's, for me, it essentially what comes down to a miniseries or a tie-in. And I read a lot of comics where the tie-in was almost better than reading the event. So I'm for that.
Yeah.
But I know many people won't be, and it's a shame because I want to see this character get the best look possible.
Yeah, and then I also don't want to see the hate that's going to come from it, because the same hate that came in the comic books. Exactly. It was crazy. It was a dark time. And then the hate that came for like Sam Wilson when he became Captain America. It's that same group of people that's like, oh, why is Iron Man black now? It's the same thing that happened to Miles. Is like, whenever you have this happen, you always get that level of hate, no matter how good the story is.
Well, let me tell you something though. With Miles, it was even darker because it was people that never read comics a day in their life thinking Spider-Man turned black.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of racism. I was just reading comics then. Like I just started reading. I was like, I don't know if I'm in the right place.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel mama. But it was really weird with Riri. I don't want to dwell on this too hard because like every time I read her, I was like, I mean, she seems like a teenager that's a little confused with life.
The stories were good.
Yeah, I didn't hate anything that I read from her. Like never. I never hated. There were some times where I'm like, I feel like this could have been better, but I read way worse. And we also have to remember this is around the all new, all different time. The first time she really takes on the suit and really becomes Ironheart, like Tony isn't there. It's a hologram of Tony because Carol Danvers punched the shit out of him, left him in a coma. That's canon. That happened.
Yeah.
So she really doesn't get to chill out with him for an extended period of time until after he comes back to life, essentially. So people were just mad that Iron Man wasn't there. This was also around the same time, if you remember, where Doom was Iron Man.
Yeah, infamous Iron Man.
So we have two Iron Men running around and no Tony Stark. And that really left a bad taste in people's mouth. Yeah. From that perspective, I get it. But a lot of it was just literal racism.
Yeah.
Call spade a spade.
But also, like, I want this show to be good. The trailer does look good. It looks fun. It looks plucky. But if this was like a one-off, which it will probably end up being, 100% here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Most we'll get is like a Young Avengers type of setup, but I don't see that happening.
No.
But, you know, the possibility is there. I mean, they do and should utilize that younger class of these heroes, you know?
Yeah. I would like an expansion on her character, though. I don't understand why her suit is still bulky at this point.
She ain't got no money. She's stealing.
She at MIT.
Yeah, she's still broke. She can be broke and go to a good college.
If you don't call Shuri and be like, yo, what's up? I need materials. Like,
could you believe that shipping from Wakanda?
Boy, these tariffs?
Not in this economy, sir.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. On top of that, I do want to say she does have a book that just started coming out called Ironheart, Bad Chemistry. I need to read that book because I haven't read Riri in a while, and I got to show the girl some love, man.
Who are her villains?
I don't know, bro. I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to get to lie and say I know. I don't know. She be fighting mad people. She be fighting mad people.
Yeah.
You got one more movie though.
Justin getting text messages.
No, I was gonna pull up an image real quick of the book because I want people to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have one more movie.
Ooh, that is kind of nice.
Tough. See, like her suit look like that.
Yeah, but okay, but this is what I want to say. You know, originally her suit was bulky as shit because she kind of reverse engineered it based off of Iron Man. She didn't have Iron Man's help at first. She like made it herself just by specs and estimating because she's so
that shit hard.
Isn't it? Yeah. Like the art is great. It just came out like 2 weeks ago, so I really need to read it.
Okay.
Fucking Marvel Unlimited. I gotta wait a century.
25.
Yeah, that 3 months is a killer, isn't it?
Yeah, man. That's one thing DC does better is they like please read our shit, bro. Like it's been a month. Go ahead and read it. Nah, Marvel like we need all that money. And no, you don't. No, you don't, Marvel.
No, you don't.
Why does it make you wait 3 months to read the currents?
Because it just does, bro. It just does. Marvel Unlimited has always had that model. I never actually agreed with it. DC does it way better with the 1 month.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now you have to pay a little bit extra, like $5 more, but Marvel Unlimited is like $12. Like I'd rather pay I think like 12 to 16 for DC Infinite to read a month. Like I just read Flash number 2 today.
Yeah.
That's so dope. That's
cool.
The book, Flash number 3 hasn't even come out yet, so you're caught up.
Yeah. I'm caught up on Batman. I'm caught up on Flash. Like to where was that episode 1? Like that's really good money's worth from my subscription. That's why like this is like our 4th publication app that K manga, for Fire Force. Please go read Fire Force. Shonen, please go read Alter the Flame, and then DC Infinite. But Marvel, you gotta stop. You gotta stop being cheap. Put this shit on there right away.
The crazy part is it don't even cost nothing for them to put it on there.
No, they have the PDF file.
Yeah, they have the file. So it's like, and when you wait the 3 months, it's like I don't even want to read the shit no more because I've heard about it for 3 months already, and it's already behind. But yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna switch out my Marvel for
DC
Ultra. I think I am, Des. I think I am.
Yeah,
I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger on that. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, man. Tag DC Ultra in the comments.
Shout out DC Ultra, man. Shout out DC Ultra.
Damn, that cover hard though,
isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, but it's time for us to talk about the big boy of the day.
Boy in blue sky.
He might be the first person that successfully let me stop hating on him, bro. Shout out to Superman, man. I can't name nobody else in my hate list that successfully limited.
While I pull up this picture, man, everyone watch this trailer, right?
Yes,
sir.
I'm so excited.
Like the homies know, I have this quote, right? And this is so terrible that I say this, right? Hate, the success does not hinder the hate. And I was referring to Duke because they got 5 championships. Okay, North Carolina got 6. Like, what are we talking about here? Like,
this is crazy.
Yeah, just because you're successful don't mean I'm gonna stop hating. If anything, I'm gonna hate more.
The lore drop is crazy.
They need to know.
That's funny as hell.
That's how good Superman has been with the Absolute. I don't know if in the free comic book one that was pretty good too. I don't know if I like mainline Superman like that. But the Absolute one, trauma Superman. Even in the trailer, we get a little.
Superman is crazy.
Yeah, you the one who said it.
Dang,
that's facts though.
And we can't find the picture.
But no, I got you. Well, the trailer, right? I'm hype. I'm not hype for Superman because Superman is always represented like the power problem in comic books, where it's like, how do you solve a problem if Superman isn't there?
Yeah.
This is doing a good job of showing him like having to solve problems essentially and getting his shit rocked consistently. And something that James Gunn is very good at is making you care about characters that you don't care about.
Yes.
Then how do you flip that into a character that everybody cares about? But he did it. I mean, I think we haven't seen the movie yet, but I would say even from like the trailer, I got goosebumps watching the trailer.
It's a great trailer.
Yeah,
it really is.
Doesn't happen much.
Desmond, how'd you feel about the trailer?
I want to know who the engineer is because her shit looked kind of crazy.
She's from the Authority, right? Or maybe we don't know.
I don't want to lie to you and say I know, bro. I never read The Authority.
I read bits and pieces of it, not like an entire run of it, but I know of the characters essentially. It's very like deep. They're like the Watchmen, very deep cut DC.
Well, it was kind of cool because the interview part that was pretty cool with Lois.
Yeah.
We got like him just wanting to really help. Like, I'm not for America. I'm literally for the planet, like people. Like, so he's got him some little immigration like he does in Absolute Superman, but yeah, like he feels a lot more brown Superman than he does not brown. Exactly.
Superman is crazy.
Exactly. This one right here he's looking a little brown right here. Even he might have the blue eyes and everything, but yeah.
Ay Dios.
What's Clark in Spanish? Clark. That shit funny as hell. But nah,
that's the aura he gave in the trailer.
Yeah. Yo, even the thing with him being pulled out of the hole by the dude does more character work than any other Superman has ever done. Any other Superman movie has ever done.
Because who do you think you're helping up? Like, you're not really helping me up here.
He'll let it happen. He didn't have to let it happen because he was probably fine, but he let it happen because his job is to instill hope in people. Like, even that small little tiny detail, maybe like 30 seconds of the movie, I was like, all right, I'm sold. That's like, what?
Yeah, James Gunn's idea of Superman completely overwatches like how I perceived him not reading any of the comics. Like, it was just like this always triumphant, super duper, I have all these powers and I can do whatever fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like, again, I don't want to put like the color part of it in there, but that was like their leader of, and it just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. For me, I used to feel like that when I was way younger, definitely before I started reading comics. But the more you read Superman or books involving Superman, you realize it's not just him being the best because he's the best. It's him being the best he can to instill others being the best that they can.
Oof, that's a bar.
I mean, it's the truth, man. In the Action Comics 1000 issue, they had a whole bunch of short stories. And, one of the short stories was Superman flying around, doing this, doing that. And of course, he was helping people, but he was also watching people help themselves and each other. At the end of the story, he goes to Lois, and I'm paraphrasing here. Lois says, "Hey, how was your day?" And he's like, "Oh, everything was great. Da, 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 da." And da, 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 da. I helped some people. Lois says, "Clark, we know that they help you." And he feels better helping people, which in turn, you pour into his cup, he pours into yours, and it just makes everyone better for it. And maybe because I'm in my mid-30s now, I like that type of hope. I like thinking that if you help me, I can help you, and we can make this world a better place. And this image right here, like you said, Phil, is a prime example of that.
Yeah. And even like as like a movie nerd, the way that they use the color palette in the movie is made to like invoke a sense of hope. It's not dark, it's not gritty like the previous Superman. The colors are very bright. Even though they're kind of muted, they're still bright as colors. Even like the scene where him and Lois are in the apartment high rise and it's nighttime, it's still super bright colors outside.
Yeah.
So there's always color, there's always life, there's always something going on. And even in this still image, you can still see patterns, you can still see color even in the background. So nothing is muted like the previous Superman movies that we got. So everything in this movie is set there to indicate like, all right, this is a beacon of hope. This is a symbol. So
that blue is really bright.
Exactly, yeah. Even like the red, even though it's kind of muted, it's still bright. Even like his fucking eyes, look how blue they are.
They're
like
really bright.
Kind of
everything is made to indicate hope. Even
and I like
detail. Yeah.
Can I say something? As a person that's a very internationalist, I love the fact that we get so many great British actors. When I heard him have like an American accent, like in an interview, I was like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like you have to be from America to like get it, because you don't. But there is like a lived experience that you have that you can bring to the screen that I think is going to shine through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Superman homer. That's my dog. So I'm hyped for this regardless.
Yeah, I don't personally like Superman as a character because I feel like a lot of his stories are not written very well. Some are. There are some really good Superman stories, but it's just like a lot of power fantasy stuff. But when you get good old-fashioned, like, I'm here for the people, and yes, I am the biggest fucking dick swinging in the room, it's a great story.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Shout out to Brown Superman.
They do like make him look more brown in they do. I can't deny that for sure.
Yo, that nigga name is Miguel. What are you talking about?
For real.
Absolute Superman. He's from Space Mexico.
He's slumming around in El Salvador and no one questions him. Like, who's this gringo? No, they're like, They're like, hey, bro, what's our cousin doing? No, that's not him. Oh, okay, my bad.
Buddy got curly hair and everything. He is not. That is not an American man.
Yeah. Random note, I've always wondered, like, not always, but I've wondered, like, since his solar absorption doesn't work the same, does he get tan in Absolute Universe? Because he gets hooked up to a machine, and it looks like that allows him to get his superpowers, like to absorb, the solar rays. So, like,
Maybe
can he catch a little sunburn? I don't know. Just a question. I don't know.
I don't think he catches sunburn, but he does look tan. Like that's what I'm saying. He does look brown.
He's definitely brown.
Brown Superman is hilarious.
I'd catch him somewhere in the Bronx.
Yeah, definitely, yo. He definitely has a bodega. He got a Puerto Rican flag in the window and shit.
Boricua!
He closer to us than them, to tell you that much.
In Absolute, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. What are your recommendations for the week?
Desmond?
Yeah, I already know what it is. It's Ultra of the Flame, man. Go read issue 1, Shonen Jump. I'm not gonna give you $3, but I would. I would give y'all. We got like what 25 subscribers or some shit. Like what? I would give y'all $3 to read that. I won't, but go read that.
What I would recommend this week. Let me see. What else have I been reading this week? I recently
shit too.
Huh?
It's usually like movies and shit too. It don't gotta be.
Yeah. I would say honestly, Fire Force. I'm normally a very big hater because of the cat girl. However, this episode literally had me on my feet. Quite literally stood up at the fight between Shinra and Burns.
That was me versus Arthur and Dragon.
Yeah. And Arthur and Dragon, when he was like, yeah, I'm going to slay you. And then Dragon was like, actually, I'm a fucking kaiju.
Right.
Bitch, what do you mean you can turn into a dragon?
We have arthropods, and Justin was saying, like, people don't usually react like getting all hype and no, but like watching that, I definitely reacted exactly how he said the people don't. Like I jumped out of my seat. I'm cheering for Arthur like everyone else is like, go Night King. Like, yeah, nigga, go. You can do this.
At that last bit, I was like, ain't no fucking way. They're cooked. And mind you, I read the manga. I know what happened.
Right.
Even at the moment, I was like, yo, they're cooked right now. How do they get out of this? And it's just honestly like that level of storytelling is Fire Force's peak until it's not, but then it is again. I have a love-hate relationship with it. We're an abusive relationship, but I'm here for it.
Hype moments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Old Faithful here. I mean, this issue deals with some things that can touch anybody. Suicidal thoughts and ideations, just feeling like you're empty. I don't want to get too down on, get serious this out or anything, but the fact that he's able to fight through that literally and figuratively, it's inspiring to me. I think anyone that suffers with regrets from the past should not just read that book, but think about the fact that, like, giving up is the cowardly way to go. And if you really want to repent for the things that you're going through, you need to keep living.
Damn, that's literally the conclusion of the Burns and Shinra thing.
Damn, yeah. Talk about full circle.
Yo, and stay close to your homies too. Like he was saying, all the ops, his usual ops are all his friends now, and they was really like genuinely checking on him.
Yeah.
If y'all got homies, man, this is what Dots and Lines is about. Like, yeah, we talk anime and comics and shit,
but we're like actually friends.
Yeah, we're actually friends. Yeah, I can definitely say these are two of my best friends. There's like 7 of us, but yeah, I love all y'all.
Yeah, man. So that concludes another episode of Dots and Lines. Please, please, please like and subscribe. I'm doing the YouTube thing now.
After we got the hard A part, now we like and subscribe. Okay.
Hard A is crazy still, but all right.
Yo, that's wild. It took us 13 episodes to finally say like or subscribe. That's how chill he is. Like, you know how to work YouTube. y'all know if y'all like something, then like the video. You want to subscribe, then subscribe. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard.
All 21 of y'all. Listen, we here.
Nah, we get like 30, 50 views. You know
Real quick, whoever showed my mom that we do this podcast, you're going to
I remember that you said that. Somebody showed
you.
My mom literally,
that text was. There's someone who looks just like you, Justice,
named Grayson Red, and he's cursing. Mind you, my mom is a very old school Jamaican woman.
That is diabolical on so many levels because you don't even know who it was.
I have no idea. I know. How did that intertwine? What?
Oh God, that's funny. Maybe it came up on her For You page, and she was like, "This looks like
maybe YouTube is just trying to set trip."
Yeah,
I know. I didn't send it to her.
That's funny as hell. Oh my God.
That was episode 13, guys.
What the hell?
Bye.